Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today we are going to be going over the class event for the Knight Hero class, the absolute worst hero class in all of Gems of War. We're going to be doing it in a slightly different order, as we actually aren't going to be showing any particular teams that end up using the hero class, mainly because it is the worst. So, first off, let's just explain why on earth this class is so ridiculously bad. So if we go under this, and go under first its traits. It has abysmal traits. None of these three traits are even remotely good. Its unique trait that it has is gain 2 armor every single turn, which is really bad. And since it also doesn't count as a human, it won't even be able to get that bonus off of Queen Isabel that also gives it 2 extra armor per turn. So basically it's just getting that effect that she would already be giving to other such humans onto the team, as this hero class does count as a knight, not as a human. As far as its 3 trees, it has Guardian, Light, and Morale. All 3 of them are pretty bad. As far as Guardian, the Mechanist class ends up using it better. As far as the Light, the Priest class ends up using it better. And as far as Morale, currently no hero class currently uses it correctly, and this one included. As far as what you would actually use for this thing's tree, if you were to use it, it's plus 5 extra attack, 10 armor if in first slot. You generally would kind of be using this in first slot, though you could put it more towards the back if you wanted to. Gain a barrier at the start of battle, or the extra life for all allies, depending on which way you're going with it. If you are going for the barrier, you're generally going to want to go for the Razor Armor. I just have it set to extra EXP because of how I generally use it to level it. And you can also go for a Light Storm. All 3 of them under that area is actually okay to go for. Generally, again, if you're using a first slot, you're going to want to give it plus 2 to all stats. Otherwise, you'd want to give it the barrier whenever an ally dies. On to the next one, you'd either give it spells, so you can keep getting rid of the enemy's good stats effects, or you can go and get extra yellow mana. And as far as the final tree, all 3 of them are 100% useless. The only one that may get some use is all divine allies gain 2 life per turn, but very rarely would that really come into play. So overall, horrible, horrible, horrible hero class, and not one you should really concern yourself with. But nonetheless, as far as the event itself, if you did want to power level it, of course you could do this. Since it is a pretty bad one, it might be good to consider doing so. We are restricted to 2 things for this. We are restricted to Knights as well as Sword's Edge. So Sword's Edge Knights are the only things you're going to be able to use. Generally, just using a simple Mang into a Queen Isabel will pretty much be all you need. If you don't own a Queen Isabel, you'd still want to go with the Sir Gawain and go with something like 2 Griffin Knights. Fortunately, if you don't have Queen Isabel nor Sir Gawain, I'd probably say kind of avoid even bothering with this thingy, because there isn't really much else you'll have unless you just want to solo it Mang, which is definitely doable if you really wanted to. But nonetheless, you'd basically just go with like some kind of Knight Coronet or something along those lines. You can use the Vanguard to generate yellow, but this kingdom doesn't really have much mana generation. It's basically between Queen Isabel, Sir Gawain, and Vanguard as your main and pretty much only few options. There are a few others like Lance Knight and Griffin Knight, but they aren't particularly good at doing that role. But anyways, nonetheless, we're running with this Mang, Queen Isabel, Sir Gawain, and Queen Isabel. I'm still using Titan for this as I'm just going through it. I am actually going to try for leaderboard just because I wanted to get a little bit more EXP on this. Since it is such a bad hero class, I kind of wanted to get it out of the way so we didn't have to really deal with it at all. But let's go and get a nice Mang down, throw it onto pretty much anything here. It's kind of funny, we're almost using the exact same team to a degree. Let's actually throw it on first slot just so we have enough damage to kill him. Even with that, I don't think we'll have enough, which is unfortunate. But one nice thing about this is do keep in mind, in this game mode, if you resummon, you do end up reserving your points. You end up losing 1 point per troop that you lose. But if you were to resummon with something like Sir Gawain, one of the reasons why we actually carry him, it still gives you the full amount of points, which is really nice. We'll go throw that down. That'll be enough to one-shot everything. And of course, all you just keep doing is keep casting Queen Isabel. And, oops, forgot to take mana. But you just keep casting Queen Isabel over and over and over again. And every single time you do so, it will be a one-shot. And you basically just keep repeating that cycle, get skulls when you can, and just keep doing that until you inevitably win. And of course, if you are using something like Titan, just take Browns and you get Barrier, and you'll pretty much never die in most situations. He's actually going to throw a Queen Isabel of his own right here, so it's not going to do too much. Just going to want to get our mana right there and then just clear it out, and that'll be that. Of course, Queen Isabel's doing our attack damage every single time, so instant one-shot. And we don't really need the Enrage when using something like, let's say, the Mang like we are right now, or like the Titan, I mean. It is one of the options. I just went for the Explode instead, mainly because our Enrage is technically just Queen Isabel casting on us. Also, if you get disoriented on your team, there are some things this week that, or during this current event, that do have the capability of moving you, like that one Taurus guy. But if that does end up occurring, basically all you really have to do is Just keep using your Queen Isabel and your hero, and regardless of what position he's in, you'll still be able to use his attack value to do damage to the enemy. So a pretty easy week to actually go and actually do the event itself as far as this actual event week. And then we'll go show just real quick, of course, the standard team if you do want to go get EXP without bothering to do all the gems. But let's just get this down real quick. Let's see, let's take Skull over. See if we can get that last little bit of mana here. We'll go for that blue. He just drained me, didn't he? He did. He threw that mana core in there. That thing had more mana. Why would he even bother doing that? I don't know what he's up to, but we'll go take the grid. AI he does some weird moves sometimes. We'll move that over. Get a bunch of explosions, a bunch of skulls, a little bit of everything. I have a drop for that, so we'll go for that. And another extra turn. Very nice. And that's already dead because we have the Queen Isabel just sitting there. And let's go get our little orb real quick. What do we have? And of course, we'll get the 30 extra EXP. And come on, good orb, good orb. Blue. Orange. Not the worst. It's not a green, so we'll take it. But anyways, of course, if you do want to go and actually power level this hero class, easiest way to go do this and cheapest way to go do this is to use Sunbird, Rowan, Firebomb, and any weapon in the game using the actual knight itself, of course. And all you'd really have to do is throw a Firebomb, get everything going, throw Sunbird dead, and if that's not enough, throw a Rowan, throw whatever weapon you're using, and that will clear it out. This gives anywhere from around 140 to around 220 EXP per hour, more towards about an average of about 180. You could easily, at any point in the game, do about 2 wins per minute. Later on in the game, you could reach 3 wins per minute, up to about 3.5 or even almost 4 per minute. But on average, later in the game, it's just a little bit shorter than 20 seconds per battle that you can maintain. So you can end up getting about 180 EXP plus per hour from that. So do keep that in mind before you bother spending any gems on anything. Generally, if you're spending gems to actually get one of these events done, the main reason you're doing it is for the orbs, not so much the EXP. Of course, the EXP is a byproduct of it, but you're mainly doing it for the orbs. And I wouldn't really advise doing it unless you have a really large reserve of gems, because you'll eventually have max hero class anyways. So unless you just really wanted to get it out of the way, that's the only time you'd really do it. Or, of course, if you just really want the orbs. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this class event. Again, not too much to go over, just because the Knight class is absolutely abysmal. I would save it for absolute last, because it is just not good at all. There isn't a single context where it is better. It is surpassed by everything else. Death Knight is the better knight. Mechanist has the better for the one guard tree, and of course Priest has better for the light. So every single aspect that it is outclassed by literally every other class, and is easily the worst class in Gems of War. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and best of luck with the event. Goodbye, everyone!